It is no secret that South Africans feel battered by stories of corruption, organized crime, greed, and that powerful people continue to be implicated. It might be surprising then that in other parts of the world, South Africa is celebrated for its efforts. In this series of conversations, we focus on the other side. We want to move beyond headlines and hear from people at the coalface of efforts to deal with corruption and organized crime. I'm Cheryl Frank. I run the Anti-Corruption and Accountability Project at the Institute for Security Studies. We interviewed Leonard Lekgetho late in 2025 in his role as the Chief Operations Officer at the Special Investigating Unit. We talked to Leonard to get a better understanding of the SIU's corruption investigating functions, a function that he led at the time. Leonard now serves as the acting head of the SIU, following Advocate Andy Motibi's appointment as the National Director of Public Prosecutions. Leonard is a career investigator, initially at the Directorate of Special Operations, known as the Scorpions, and then at the SIU, holding a range of management roles. We hope that this interview provides some insights into the SIU's investigations, as well as how Leonard might approach his new role at the SIU. We are speaking today to Leonard Lekgetho, the SIU's Chief Operations Officer. Thank you so much for being with us today, Leonard.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Thank you for spending this time with us. We want to speak a little bit about the investigative functions of the SIU today, and you lead those functions at a national level and oversee them in the provinces.
Correct. Yeah.
So let's just speak about the processes of how investigations get triggered. I understand that you need an official presidential proclamation to proceed with an investigation. But I also understand that you do a lot of work in order to apply for a presidential proclamation.
Correct.
So tell us about that pre-work and how do those cases come to your attention, cases of interest? What sort of work do you do to prepare to request a proclamation?
Okay. No, thanks for the opportunity to explain our process. I think it's a good thing that people need to know how we do our work. Normally what happens is that we do get allegation, and allegation comes from different sources. The first one might be the member of the public who can come and say, there's the allegation of corruption at certain departments, or it might happen that the head of the department or the department itself can come and say, come and help us, there are issues here. Or the AGSA can refer some of the issues to us, then we look at it and analyze. Or the minister or the president or anybody, actually anybody, even us, we can even follow up in the media where there's something of interest. We go through it, read, and write to the department and say, we have seen that there's such allegation. Can you please give us the document? Right. And once we get documents, we analyze the documents. Remember, we've got the legislation. We are creature of statute, meaning that we can only investigate what is within our powers. Right. So then we will look at the allegation, look at the mandate to see whether does it fall. If it falls within our mandate, then we prepare what we call a motivation for a proclamation. Right. That motivation for a proclamation will outline the allegations and what is it that we think will able to recover or to find out of the matter, because we don't just want to investigate. So we'll take that motivation and send it to the Department of Justice. And in the Department of Justice also they will do their own analysis, because remember they need to vet and able to make sure that this is correct. And once it's fine, then the Minister of Justice will sign it. Then it will go to the presidency. So the presidency also, they've got their work that they need to do in terms of making sure that they prepare for the president to sign for a proclamation. So once everybody is happy, the president is happy, he's going to sign that motivation that we have applied. And once he signs it, then it will go back to the Department of Justice. Then Department of Justice will publish it in the government gazette. Right. Once it's published in the government gazette, that's when we can start with the investigation. But all along, it's something. It's a work that we do in the background, trying to source all the information, because in some instances, the person will come as a whistleblower and say, there's this thing happening, but they don't have documents.
Right.
So we try within ourselves to say, let's go and look for documents so that we can ascertain. And it's a two-way stream. It's you report, we investigate, and sometimes if we are unable or it doesn't fall within the ambit of our proclamation, our mandate, we refer the matter to the relevant state institution. So we make sure that action is taken. We don't just say, no, the matter we cannot investigate because it doesn't fall within the SIU ambit. We make sure that we refer it to the relevant institution, be it the public protector, Public Service Commission, or the police, or any other thing. So that's how we do it, to make sure that action is taken. Yeah.
The public sometimes sees the results of your investigations. So we see these very detailed investigative reports, sometimes presented before SCOPA. We can read your investigative reports that you publish on your website.
Yes.
So I want to get a sense of all the work that goes into those investigative reports. And you know, a lot of your the cases you investigate are often presented in the media as well.
Yeah.
So I thought you could take us through your investigative process by just sharing a case study with us. So, for example, take us through a recent case that you've investigated. I want to suggest the Herbert Sagala case, the former Transnet CEO. And for you to just take us through how that case came to you, how you would have investigated that case in terms of your internal procedures, some of the complexities of the case maybe, and then some of the outcomes.
Yeah, yeah. No, thanks a lot. I think in terms of our investigative processes, we've got the standard operating procedure, of which we have drafted in order to guide the investigation as to what is it that they need to do whenever they receive investigation. So it's all part of our value chain, to say, from allegation to issuing of a proclamation to investigation until the investigation is closed.
Right.
So we've got a defined process of what needs to happen. But of course, you know, investigation, it always doesn't go accordingly. And it involves also some trick, there some an insight from the person that is investigating, because some of the things might not be quite clear. So you need somebody that can able to think out of the box,
Right.
so that you can able to understand exactly what is it that is happening, because the allegation might be wider and say procurement process was not followed.
Right.
So you need to determine what happened. And in most instances, you are able to go through quickly and able to identify those issues and able to make recommendations. But in some instances, you need to dig deep and able to understand what happened. On this particular one that you have indicated, the one for Transnet, we did receive a proclamation from Transnet. And in most instances, when we receive proclamation from the proclamation pertaining to a department, we always, because it's always, we made it public, then the public tend to come and say, okay, good, you can come, here's the information that you really need to look into. Then this is what happened, where the matter was brought to our attention to say, hang on, there's an executive who's taking money, who's receiving money, who's awarding tenders to people, look at it. Then as part and parcel of the whole investigation, we look at it, because remember, we get the specific allegation, and as a result, once we get to the department, you find that there are other allegations that come. And those other allegations, still when they come, we need to make sure that they fall within the mandate,
Right.
so that we don't investigate something that is on the mandate. Then once it comes, we look at it, then we allocate it to investigator. So in terms of the process, just to explain quickly,
Yes.
we get the proclamation. After we get a proclamation, we allocate a manager and a lawyer. Our investigation, we do it in terms of a project base, project base. We allocate a manager and investigator. Then the lawyer, what he will do, he will look at the allegation and say, what does the allegation say? And in order for us, in order to prove this allegation, what documents, what do we need to do, what interview and all those things. Then the lawyer will draft a memo. That memo, the investigator will take it, and as a result, and developed what we call a project plan to say, for me to investigate this, this is the plan that I'm going to follow. And in the plan, you are able to indicate that I'm going to do this, it's going to take 3 days, and I'm going to do this, it's going to take so much days. As a result, these are the dependency. Completely at the end, you've got the entire project plan with the timeline, which is going to show how long you're going to do what you want to prove.
Right.
Then thereafter, after doing the project, you are able to see that there are many activities, so you need how many resources. Then you allocate resource. You come in, you request resource, then we allocate resource, then we give you the resource. Then in the resource, you find that in the investigation, there might be 1 focus area or 2 focus area or 3. Then we allocate the different focus area to different investigators to say, you deal with this one, you deal with that one. Whoever is dealing with this, the one that you're talking about, I think it was one of the chief forensic investigators who was really brilliant in terms of analyzing the processes. So we allocated to him. He went through the process of analyzing the allegation and getting all the documents. And I think key to it was the receiving of money from service provider.
Right.
Whereby the money was, the contract were given to the service provider, and the service provider will pay the money to the Mr. Msagala.
Right.
And some of the money was paid to different people, to family, to trust, and to, So, but as the investigator, you need to be sharp in order for you to be able to identify such things, because they are not quite open there. All you need to do, you get the allegation. If it's you look at all the contracts that were awarded.
Right.
Then as a result, you analyze how were they awarded. Were they awarded properly? And for example, if you take one, yes, it was awarded properly, but you don't end it there. You say, let's look at the money flow. Whether the money, how did the money come? The money comes from ESCOM, comes from Transnet, goes to the service provider. How did he spend the money?
Right.
So it's a 3-pronged approach that we follow in our investigation, just maybe to summarize it.
Yes.
The first one is the procurement. We look
Right.
at whether the procurement process was followed. In that way, you get all the documents, you analyze and see whether did they follow all the process. The second one is they follow the money, the one that I just explained now.
Right.
The money from Transnet to the company. Then from the company, what happened to the money? Did the money went through to service what the service provider said he has done? For example, you need to buy material, you need to do this and all those things. So we follow that money on that instance. The third approach that we follow is the value for money.
Right.
We check whether did Transnet receive value for money out of those projects. So those are the 3-pronged approach that we do in terms of investigation. So once the procurement process is not followed, we are ready there and there to take the contract to cancel it, because there's an irregularity. And what is good with us is that we don't need criminality to cancel the contract.
Right.
We can cancel based on irregularity, that certain processes were not followed. But what happened on this instance is the issue of follow the money.
Right.
Once we start analyzing the money, you find that there are many layers in terms of the way the money flow. It flows from a company. From a company, it goes to a personal account. From personal account, it goes to a relative, or to another company, until it comes back to the official. So that's why I'm saying it needs somebody that really understands investigating and you've got passion, because once you discover that, you need to follow it quickly, and so that your line of thought can able to function. So that's what happened. We analyzed bank records of the particular service provider. Then we could see that there's money that goes out to certain people. Then once we could follow that this money goes all the way until it goes back to the official from Transnet.
Right.
So that's how we were able to discover it. And once it get there, what they did, he started buying properties. And now the property was bought, some of the property bought in, under the children.
Right.
Yeah. So that's how it is. And also, in terms of the allegation, it will say, Cheryl, so what we'll do, we'll also profile you. To profile you and to say, let's see what is it that you have, because we've got allegation against you. We look at your assets, we look at your income and all those things. Then we find that you've got a lot of property. And those property, some of them were bought cash. And now we go to the bank and go to the transferring attorney. How did the money comes in? So you found that this is how the money comes in, you know. So those are the meticulous that we go through in order to understand some of these things. The other example I can give is that one where we did in lottery.
Yes.
Where the money was also, they will issue out the money to the non-profit organization.
Right.
And after that, they will tell the non-profit organization and say, you appoint this company to come, because you find that the proposal is to build a stadium.
Right.
Then they say, you appoint this company to come and build the stadium. Only to find that the company belongs to the brother of the executive from NLC.
Right.
Then it means the benefit goes there, and once it gets there, it gets channels back to the official. And what they do, they use trust. They thought will hide the money via the trust. So the money goes there, it goes to the brother, then it goes to the trust, and now he has access to trust. And that trust, he start making some transaction based on the trust. That's how we're able to find some of those things. The other instances is where the money also goes to the second person, and the second person and say, I'm buying that property. So you transfer the money to the conveyancing attorney. So in that way, the money doesn't come directly to you. So it goes to the conveyancing process, the purchase of the house. Then, boom, you've got the house. So now that's where the issue of the profiling comes in. Because now we profile how you're staying in this house. You know, these are the property you have, and these are the value, and this is how much you're getting. We try to match whether do you have any other company, and what is it that they're doing. So we take it on a reverse. It's either we take it from the property, reverse it, so that we can see where the money comes from, or sometimes it's easy to get it from the beginning, from the company, and follow the money that way. So it's a strategy that you'll follow that will enable you to get to the right source as to what really happened into this thing. So it's quite fun, you know. It's quite fun.
It's complex and fun.
Yes.
Could you speak to the kinds of skills that internally to the SIU in your investigative capabilities, what sorts of skills do you bring to bear in a complex case like this? So what range of capabilities do you have within the institution?
Okay. In the institution, when we allocate members to the investigation, we do have investigators, and most of our investigators, they come long way, because remember what will happen is that some years ago, 2007, 2008, we had a program where we had trainee investigator. We'll go through different institutions and get graduate. And graduate in legal, in law, and in commerce, the accountant and all those things. We get them, then we develop them into be investigators. So we took them through the process, the way they are trained, and they know how to investigate. So most of our investigators come from that angle. Because we could see that, you know what, most of the time when we want investigator, we must recruit, we take from another department.
Yes.
So we thought, let's build our own timber where we can able to be self-sustained. So most of our investigators come a long way. So that's the skill that we have. Our investigators are legally qualified. Some of them they've got the BCom accounting. And you know, so it's quite different range of, some of them are IT specialists. So when we allocate in an investigator, we look at the skills and to say this skill can best fit this type of work. But sometimes you might find that the skill is busy somewhere else. So, but we are able to see how we can able to, because in most instances we've got two type of investigation sometimes. Is the procurement one, where it requires heavy skills, analytical skills. Then we've got the process-driven. Process-driven is an investigation where it's A, B, C, you know. You don't need to apply too much of your mind. For example, driver's license, you know that you need to do your eye test, you need to do this. So it's easy. You can allocate anybody. But in terms of the procurement, we need people that are skilled. So we keep forensic legal, we keep forensic accountant, which play major role in terms of analysis of the money. But also some of our investigators, they do have that understanding of following the money. So they work together. Then we've got cyber forensic, who help to retrieve the information from the gadgets that we see from the computers, and also to recover some of the deleted information. Then we've got data analytics. Data analytics, where they able to get all this information, able to analyze it so that it can able to simplify. And in most instances, they are able to do it so that we can easily identify the red flags. We get all the data, we capture it, then we are able to analyze and see what's the red flag. For example, tender, you know that there are certain stages. So you put all those stages, then you can able to see that this stage is not there. So that's how you are able to, they are able to assist us. Then, yeah, I think those are mainly, but what is critical is the investigation and the forensic accounting and the legal. The legal are there to support the investigation, because once they found any irregularity, the investigator, they must go to the legal. Then the legal must able to test it against the provision or the law that is there to say, hang on, I don't think we've got the sufficient evidence for us to be able to refer. So what is critical now is that, so as we know that we are involving, as we involve what we do, we looking, adding the forensic auditing part in our processes. Of course, for now, we do have that pronouncement that we do in terms of our forensic auditing, because most of our investigation, we look at the maladministration. And in terms of the maladministration, you need to pronounce in terms of the deficiency, the control systems, and all those things. So we're trying to infuse that in terms of our value chain, that there should be properly looked into in terms of the outcome that we do. Because we look at the policy. We need to look at the policy to say what led to this fraud to happen or corruption to happen. It might be that there's no policy. Or it might be that the policy is outdated, or there's not adherence to policy and all those things. So in our recommendation, our report, we need to come out clearly, because the issue is we don't want to go and investigate and come back and investigate again. So we need to identify that make systemic recommendations so that they analyze, they implement that so that that does not happen. When we come back, we should be coming back for something else, but we shouldn't come back for the same thing that we have identified.
Yes.
So that's how we try to do it. But we try and match the skills based on what we need to investigate.
Right. I know there's no such thing as a typical investigation, but something as complex as the Transnet case we've just been talking about.
Yeah, the external service that the services that we normally procure, I think it relates to some of the skills that we don't keep. For example, if we look at the construction, we need a QS. And we don't appoint QS, you know, on a full-time basis. Quantity surveyors, yes. So we'll bring them in. Remember those 3 promo approach, the value for money. To say, yes, the construction, can you look at this building? Is it worth what is being alleged to have been spent? Look at all these things to quantify whether the cement or the quality of material that was used. Then you are able to quantify and say, this building is worth 10 million, and only to find that the service provider has been paid 100 million.
Right.
Then that will help us when we go to court. Because once we go to court, we need to present that report to say, we need to recover. And when we recover, remember, it depends. If the contract is irregular, you can't benefit from irregular contract. Meaning that you need to pay back all the profit. Yes. So the QS will able to quantify and able to give us the report. Then it will show us how much we need to recover from you. So those are the skills that we have. Of course, in some instances, our investigators are stretched. Like, for example, the forensic accountant. If they are stretched, we do have a database where we are able to go in to source in some of the external service providers to say, come and help us, because here's a case, we need to solve it quite quickly because we need to go to court. So they're able to come and able to help it. So that's how we do. We do have a database of all other service providers, even the investigators, so that for in case when we get more work, we can able to do the work, you know, without wasting so much time. Even the quantity surveyor, the engineer, the electrical engineer, and all those things, there is a database that we keep for those. So that whenever it comes out, we need one, we are able to pick them out of the database.
Yeah. And then do you have any reliance on any of the other law enforcement agencies or other services within our anti-corruption architecture?
Yes, we rely a lot. We work together. For example, the one I can easily mention is the Financial Intelligence Center, FIC. We work quite closely with them. For example, in some of the PPE matter that we investigated, you find that the banks have identified some suspicious transaction.
Right.
And once it's identified, remember they report it to FIC, and FIC has a duty to report it to us, to the law enforcement. And once they report it, we need to investigate. But the problem now is that once we start investigating, the money is dissipating. So the FIC is able to come in to freeze, according to their legislation, for a certain period. And whilst they are freezing, we are busy with our own process so that once they are done with, they reach the maximum limit of their own process, they just freeze just to preserve, and they enable us the opportunity to do our own application or whatever. Then once they release, we freeze.
Right.
So that's the relation that we have.
Yes.
And also in other instances is, for example, another example is the SARS.
Yes.
In some instances, if there are no any other issues and there are tax issues, we are able to refer to SARS and say, look, we have investigated, but we can see that there's a possibility of VAT issues and SARS issues. They are able to come in and freeze based on the issue of SARS. So that's how the connection comes in. And also the NPA and the Hawks, We work together because, you know, in South Africa, we've got multi-agency approach where we've got the Hawks, we've got the NPA, we've got the IDEC and all those things. So you find in most instances that a person will report to all the agency. And once they report to all the agency, we come together and say, let's form a task team where we can tackle this thing. So we all work together. The other one bring investigation, the other one bring something else. So we come together as task team to deal with it. So that's how we're able to work together. But there is a working together in terms of all other law enforcement. That's the only way we can able to succeed in terms of fighting corruption.
So I wanted to just get you to reflect a little bit on the difficulties that you've experienced during these complex investigations. What are some of the typical things that you come up against that you have to develop plans to manage?
Some of this difficult investigation, the issue that we sometimes come across is the availability of documents. I think it's one of the issue that sometimes stall the investigation, where we look for documents, we don't find documents. But based on our methodology is the fact that if you don't find documents, you don't end it there. There's somebody who was responsible to keep the documents.
Right.
And also in terms of the Archiving Act, remember the department needs to keep documents until a certain period. So whoever did not do what they're supposed to do in terms of safeguarding the documents, we need to refer disciplinary against that person. So that's what major thing, that challenge that we have. The other challenge we have is that some of the investigation that we do, remember based on our investigation, the model that we utilize is that we investigate, then the department needs to pay us because we don't get full funding from government.
Right.
The challenge we have is that if we are investigating the Director General of the department or head of the department, and the same person must pay us.
Yes.
So that's where the challenge is, that some of them, they don't pay us, you know. So you find that now we have to maneuver, but we still continue with our work.
Yes.
And in some instances is that the matter came through whistleblower. It didn't come through the department.
Right.
So I remember in one municipality where we received a matter through a whistleblower. Then we apply for a proclamation, we've got a proclamation. Then after that we started doing the investigation, we send an invoice to the municipality. The municipality saying, hang on, who authorized, who said you must come investigate? You must go and tell that person to pay you.
Yeah.
We are not paying you.
Yes.
You know, tell the president to pay you because we didn't call you, we didn't invite you, so we didn't budget for you. So those are the kind of things that we come across, but they don't deter us because our mandate is to investigate. So we'll do it with whatever resource that we have. And I think currently we're finding a good support in terms of the parliament and in trying to make sure that we get our money. You know, the State Department, they pay us. Because obviously the official that needs to pay us are the ones that are involved in this thing. They will never process some of our invoices. But in some instances, we escalate so that this thing can be resolved. So those are the challenges. And the other challenges is that some of these investigations are quite sensitive in the sense that the people that are involved, you know, taking sweets from a child, you know, that's sweet, and once you take it away, you know, so they don't feel quite nice with it. There has been several threats to some of our investigators but we don't leave it. We provide protection to some of our investigators because we know that people will not let this going. They're not just going to let it go.
Yes.
And in some instances, we come across where the people want to bribe our investigators.
Right.
Yeah, they say, hey, let me give you something, then you throw away. Then the way we taught them, I think there's already 2 people who have already been arrested on that front. We said, no, accept. Then we organize a sting.
Yes.
Then they give the money, and after giving the money, they get arrested.
Yes.
So there's 2 cases currently where some of our investigators were tried to be bribed. The other one was to be given 375,000. The other one, I think, close to the member said he's got 50,000 in at that time.
Okay.
So there's so much challenge where we really try to persevere, because it's not going to be easy, but we have to persevere in terms of trying to do our work. I think blockages, some people, they will think that when we tell them that we need certain documents or come and appear before the special investigating unit, some of them will not do it, or they will not give us documents. Then remember, in terms of our act, if you do that, you are interfering with the investigation, and it's a criminal.
Yes.
So we report you, and there's a criminal case that can be pursued against you. There are some who have already been arrested for such, So that's how I think some of the challenge that we come across. But we always emphasize that let's be vigilant, and let's make sure that we follow the process. And another last challenge that I can highlight is that, as you know, that we are always there and people could see what we're doing. Some of them take chances. They go to court to challenge our report, to challenge our outcoming. And as a result, some of them, it prolongs the process, because once it's caught, we have to wait for the decision of the court. So those are the things that we come across. But we're proceeding.
Yes.
We're proceeding.
Yes. So let's go back then to the conclusion of your investigation. You issue a report.
Yes.
And you could recommend various things in the context of a report.
Correct.
So maybe you could use that same Transnet case study for us and talk about the sorts of recommendations that you might that might emerge from the report, and then and how you follow up on those, and what ultimate outcomes could result.
Correct. Yeah. Maybe just to take it at a higher level.
Yeah.
Some of the recommendation, as we do the investigation, there are close to 5 recommendations that we made. The first one being the civil litigation.
Right.
I think, like I alluded, we investigate contract, and once we find that they didn't follow the process, we are able to go to special tribunal, so that we can declare the contract invalid. Right. That's the first one. That one, we've got control over it from end to end. It's within our control, so we don't refer it somewhere else. And we even inform the department that this contract we have issued to so-and-so, but we are taking it to court to review it and set it aside. So that's the first one. Second one is a referrals for disciplinary action. Right. This is where we found in our process that somebody misconducted themselves. Therefore, we put together a dossier, a report with annexures with report, and give it to the department and say, you need to discipline this person, and this is what is it that he did. Right. And we even made available our investigator to go and testify, because we have done investigation, so that they can assist the process. That's the second one. The third one is criminal referrals. Right. Criminal referrals, as we investigate, we come across criminality. Then we package it together, like I indicated. Remember that we've got lawyers in the project who advise us regarding the legality, and also the commission, whether there's any commission of a crime. Most of our lawyers, some of them are ex-prosecutors, some of them were practicing lawyer, criminal lawyers who are able to ascertain that there's a criminality. So we package that, send it to NPA to say, this is the criminality that we have come across. Remember, in terms of our legislation, we refer our matter to NPA, then NPA refer it to the Hawks. To the Hawks. Yes. So that's how we do it. Then the fourth one is in terms of the administrative action. Right. Where, like I indicated, that we don't want to investigate and and come back and investigate again. But maybe before that one, the administrative action is in terms of referring to regulatory bodies.
Right.
For example, if we investigate you are a member of a professional body, you are a lawyer, we refer you to LPC because they've got a code of conduct of which they need to uphold the standard of their members. If you are an accountant, we go to SICA. If whatever body that you are, we refer there so that they must take action against you. Over and above the discipline that we have sent to the department.
So these could be for professional misconduct, essentially.
Yes, yes. And also, remember some of this company, we refer them to the department to say they must be blacklisted.
Right.
Yes, because if this fault is from their side, to say, you know what, they've contributed towards that, then they must be blacklisted. So that's what we do also. Then the fifth one is that systemic recommendation that I indicated initially to say, we look what are the systems issues, what are the deficiency, the controls, and we make recommendation that they need to address some of those things so that this thing does not occur again, so that we can able to move on. So those are the things that we do. Then based on the case that you have outlined, we found the criminality. We referred criminal in terms of that aspect. So in terms of criminality, remember they take their own process, they have to take it through their own processes. So in that process also we are supporting them, we are helping them in order to
So this would
sure.
be the Hawks as well as the NPA?
Yes, yes. So we are supporting them in terms of making sure that this matter is taken through. Then the second one is the outcome we did was the disciplinary. We refer disciplinary to Transnet so that they must take action, and of which they did take action. And I think out of the action, the member was dismissed, you know, out of it. And we did provided all the relevant information that they require in order for them to take that action. The third one was the civil part, which is the civil litigation, because here the contract, and also here is the money that has been received, and this money was used to buy properties, to buy vehicles. So what we did, we went to special tribunal so that we can freeze all those assets.
You can take civil action to recover assets.
Yes,
Right.
yes, yes.
So, yeah, speak to some of the, speak specifically to the asset recovery possibilities that you can effect through your civil measures.
Okay. So what happened is that we've got the two processes that we are doing in terms of recovering. Remember, most of our matters are geared towards recovering for the money that has been stolen.
Right.
Most of our investigation is geared towards that. So the first one is once we come and investigate, for example, we will find in some instances there's overpayment that has been made to you as the service provider, or we found that you owe the department certain money. I can make an example in the issue of Department of Transport, where we did some investigation. We found that, remember, every year you need to renew your license disc,
Right.
you know. So what happened is that some of this big this company that own truck that delivers stuff from place to place, they don't renew their license disc. And what they do, they take that debt, because to renew a big truck, it's very expensive.
Right.
Yeah. So they'll collude with official to take the official they do have, they can take the debt in terms of that particular truck and take that debt and put it into a deceased person's driver's license.
I see. Okay.
You see? Then after that, they transfer the truck back to the owner. As a result, the owner is not going to pay back to the outstanding fees
Yes.
You know, so it's so meticulous. I think that's how we managed to find it. That, and in terms of that one, we even recommended to them that you must block if a person is deceased. You must link your system with Home Affairs that when a person dies, you flag the license so that it doesn't exist, because we found that the people are able to use those licenses either to give themselves the license or to create this fraud where they take the truck, transfer it to this deceased. As a result, when it goes away, the outstanding amount remain there. It doesn't go to the new owner, and the new owner will be able to move on and don't pay. As a result, they get the money. So there are several of them, a lot of money that we have recovered in terms of that. So what we do, we go to such people also to say, this is what is it. You need to pay back the money. Some of them will come and say, okay, I'm prepared to pay back the money. But of course, it doesn't absolve them from criminality. Yes. We say pay back. If you willing to pay back, you pay through the method that we utilize is the admission of debt. Yes. You sign admission of debt to say, I owe the Department of Transport so much, and this is how I'm going to pay. So we give you a limit. It's either you pay the whole cash if you have it there, or you can pay over a period of time. But ultimately, you must pay back the money. So that's what we did. Another example is the one that we did in Road Accident Fund, where you found that the lawyers, they went to court, and as a result, they managed to get a judgment against RAF. You know, after you get judgment against RAF, then RAF will take that judgment and load it in their system to say, after 180 days, the system must pay Cheryl. You know, then while you are waiting for the 180 days, because remember they get a lot of claims, so they can't, you just come and they pay. Yes. So they load it and they time it for 180 days that it must be paid, because by then the money will have, you know. So while waiting, the others will come and say, will go to court and say, you are not to enforce that payment, not want to wait for 180. Okay. Then once it's enforced, they go to the sheriff. The sheriff will attach the bank account of RAF. Then the sheriff will take the money that is due to that lawyer and pay the lawyer. After 180 days, the system has been set. It's going to pay the lawyer again. Okay. You see? So after it paid the lawyer, remember he received the money via the sheriff, and again he's receiving the money. So that means it's double payment. Yes. So some of the lawyer will come in and say, you know what, RAF, there's another claim that I submitted. The money that you owe, that you have given me, you can take from that. And of which it doesn't work like that. Right. You need to pay back that money. Yes. You know. So some of them, they will eat the money. Some of them will come and say, you know what, I don't have the money, or here's the money, I'm paying it back. Yeah. But also it's very complicated also. Remember, in terms of the money for lawyers, you can't utilize clients' money. Right. So the moment you utilize it and you pay it back, we see that you are paying back from a different account where it was paid from. That means you have utilized it. And as a result, it's a misconduct in terms of your profession. So that's how we do it. But long short of it is that they sign acknowledgement of debt, where they need to pay. They pay back the money, and after we gather all the money, then we pay back to the department. Just like the NSFAS, the student, where in most instances, student will apply that I want to go to this particular university, only to find that then NSFAS will pay the full tuition for the whole year. Then half year through the year, the student decide to drop. Right. But they've already paid the money for the second semester, for the whole year. Then as a result, that portion for the whole year, the first one will have been utilized. The second one will stay there because the student didn't use it. So come and what they're supposed to do, come and every year they need to reconcile to say we have paid you so much and so much needs to be paid back. then you find that the university now keep that money, doesn't return it to NSFAS. Now we come in and say, hey, you owe NSFAS. We do the reconciliation and say, this student came and he dropped, or the student left this university, went to another one. As a result, he managed to get money there, but he has already been paid full in this side. So we get that money, we go to university and say, pay back the money. It's either they sign acknowledgement of debt, pay back the money, then we pay back to NSFAS. That's the first one. The second one is now where a contract is irregular.
Right.
You are litigating against us. So that one followed the normal process of court where we go to litigate, issue summons and all those things. But what is interesting part is the issue that before we come there, we found irregularity. And as we found the irregularity, and we litigate against you, so that we can protect that money, we go to court to freeze your account. To freeze account so that you don't dissipate the money.
Right.
So that when judgment is issued out, there's no money. You know, so that's the process that we do. And this one also happened in the sense that you find that an official also who was involved in the irregularity that caused Transnet to suffer.
Right.
What we do, we don't leave you because you are the one who has caused Transnet to suffer. Some of them, they will retire, they will resign
Right.
in the midst of everything, or you get fired. Once you get fired, because we're going to cite you in the paper, we freeze your pension. Yeah, we freeze your pension so that your pension can be used to pay the losses that Transnet suffer. So we cite you in the paper together with other service provider. So that's the process. So once we cite with the paper, we freeze your account. That's another method that we do. And then once the main case is finalized, then we can able to go and take the money and pay what is due. But if you are not found guilty, then you can have your money. But the issue is there's a freezing that we can able to do. There are a lot of matters, particularly on National Lottery, where we frozen the houses, we take in people's houses, and we so that we wait for the main application, which is to declare that the contract or the money that you receive it irregularly. So that's how we do it. We go to court, but while waiting there, we must freeze so that at least we can get money to able to compensate that.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask a little bit about the asset recovery function that you play. And thinking about these big complex cases involving state capture where we're talking about billions of rands. What is the role of the SIU in terms of those asset freezings, asset recovery?
In terms of the state capture, we are involved in most of the departments that, for example, there's Transnet, there's ESCOM, there's SABC, there's a PRASA, quite Denel, and so we are involved in most of those investigations. And in some instances, we have already proceeded in terms of the recovery process. For example, in SABC, there are quite a number of matters that are currently in court. You'll remember the Claudi Motswaneng issues where we are recovering certain money. But the issue, what is important is the issue is that the people that were litigating, like I indicated before, they tend to prolong some of these things. They kick for touch and whatever. And in some instances, there's in one instances where one of the person, because remember we freeze. Once we freeze, you can't have access to the money. Some of them will go to court and say, can the court allow me to have certain money so that I can fight the state? Then we said, no, you can't use the state money to fight the state, you know. So let's go to that extent. But we're quite involved, and there's quite of recovery that we are busy with. For example, in Transnet, I think there's a litigation to the value of more than 50 billion that is currently ongoing, and of which we aim to recover all this money that went out. So the process is going quite well, and we are collaborating with the Asset Forfeiture Unit and other law enforcement, where we work together in order to be able to see what is it that we can recover when and all those things. And also in ESCOM, also there's certain instances where we received them, we have recovered the money that were lost during that period of state capture. So we play a major role, and I think the nice thing is that you've got Asset Forfeiture Unit, you've got Special Investigating Unit, you've got South African Reserve Bank, you've got the SARS. So we are all going at all front in order trying to recover what is lost. So the cases are still ongoing, some already in court, some are still coming. So that's how it's going. Yeah, but the issue is the freezing.
Yes.
It's to make sure that people don't get assets, because we have seen in other front that they dissipate the money, transfer it to other uncles and whatever, or do whatever, but the issue is once you freeze it, they can't have access to it, and they can't even use the same money to fight back at the law enforcement agency. So that's what we're trying to protect. Otherwise, they're going to prolong the case because they've got money to fight us. Yeah.
So let's speak a little bit about just shifting the conversation a bit to whistleblowers. And you spoke a bit earlier about how cases may come to you and whistleblowers might be involved at that early stage. Can you speak to how many of your investigations you think proportionally come as a result of whistleblowers via your hotline or through other means? And then some of the issues around you managing whistleblowers, the protection of whistleblowers in terms of your processing?
Okay. For now, I can't clearly indicate that maybe 50% or 10%, but the issue is we've got the hotline of which members are able to report our matters. And in most instances, like I indicated, that once we get a proclamation, we communicate. And in that process of communicating, that's when some of the people comes in to say, hang on, yes, good. I know that these people, this is what they did to me. This is how the whistleblower comes in. So this reporting, I think it really helps us. And it also helps us to be able to go to straight issues, the issues that are really affecting. So that's how they get involved. Some of them report matters which are not under investigation. Some report matters that are already under investigation, where I say, look into this. And in some instances, is as you investigate or you interview people, they tend to give you more information, which you look at others. So there's a different way of whistleblowing, and of which, in terms of our process, we make sure that we protect our whistleblower. Because most of our cases, some of them, we can quickly do our matters because of whistleblower. They play a major role because they are able to direct us to the real issues. You know, so it's very, very important for us and for us as a country to have whistleblower, and so that they are protected. Because in terms of for you to able to go and crack case, for example, the case of Mzagala, we wouldn't have known. But because there's a whistleblower who give us information, we are able to direct and go and have within short space of time, we're able to finalize the investigation. So they help a lot in terms of speeding up investigation, but identify the issue. But of course, some of them, they are whistleblower because now they can see that they are getting caught, you know. So you always have to assess the information that you get, because in some instances, people come as a whistleblower just to distract you from the real issue and say, don't go this way, go this way. But if you are going to follow that, then then they know that they are off the hook. That from our side is, Once we investigate, we've got a plan that we are dealing with ABC. Then if D come, we say, okay, it's fine. D, we put it as the second phase. Then we finalize ABC. Then we can deal with D at a later stage so that we don't get obstructed. At the end, we can able to see, based on the time that we had, this is what we planned to do, we have achieved it. Once we're done, then we can go to that so that we don't get distracted. So that's how we do it. But generally, whistleblowers are very, very important, and we encourage people to do the whistleblowing. And I think we, in terms of government, as you know, that there's always outcry, and in some instances, I can even indicate that some of the people that do whistleblowing, some of the people they are able to identify and say, hang on, there's only 2 people who knew about these things. Yeah. Probably is that one. So you find that once they give us information, some of them, they get persecuted, whereby they are being disciplined and all those things. We come in. We come in as an organization. We tell them that let us know if there's any action that has been taken against you. Then we write to the minister, we write to the department or whatever to say, you can't do this to this person. It's a whistleblower. Unless you guys, you are promoting that whistleblower must not be protected. So we do get engaged, particularly where they get being identified. And I always advise our whistleblower to say, you know what, your role as a whistleblower, blow the whistle, walk away. Some of them, they want to work with the investigation. You know, once they come, they report a matter, they will come and call every day and come to even to the SIU and say, how far is this matter? Okay. In that way, you are exposing yourself, you know. So that's how I say, report, walk away. Once you reported it, it's the law enforcement that must take this matter forward. At least you have done your part. Then currently, I think we even had some of the instances. I remember when we were investigating Life Esidibeni. There was once whistleblower who came and say, he gave us information. Then the next day he said, my life is in danger. He even came to SIU and said, I can't go anywhere else. Please, you have to protect me. Then what we did, we contacted the witness protection unit. Then they came to assist the person. But the issue with the witness protection is that, remember, it takes you away. They must take you away. Then when the member realized that, you know what, I can't walk, I can't go away, he said, no, I don't want this thing. I'm fine. I'll see what to do, you know. So that's how it is, that once you get put into the witness protection program, then you are being taken away from your community, from your environment. And now once you go away, some of the people feel that this is not the life I can, because you totally change person somewhere else where you leave your comfort of your home and all those things. So there's that part that people normally don't like it, because they feel that it's intruding into their privacy and all those things. But what we always try to encourage them to say, if there's anything, report to us. Report to us. Then if we know that this is what is happening and it's so and so, we organize with the police. We call the person and tell him that we are aware what is it that you want to do. Should anything happen, we know that it's you, you know. So that's how it is. We try to do it. The most painful part is that they will blow the whistle against the Director General. And the Director General will use the internal process to fire them. And the Director General will lose a case. He will appeal and appeal and appeal. And whose money is he using? The state. And the whistleblower is using his own money. So you see, I think they really need to be assisted, so that in terms of such situation, they can be assisted, you know. Otherwise, they are fighting the people that are not using their money. So the issue is, must be there, that if you are a DG, you are chasing somebody because of whistleblower and he lose the case and you want to appeal the case, you must use your money. I think that's where they could feel that this is not worth pursuing, you know.
And the issue of physical safety of whistleblowers, how do you find ways of achieving that safety objective?
The safety, I think it's somehow challenged. Like I was saying, that in terms of legislation, we don't have where we keep them, but we normally work with whistleblower house, whereby if there's anybody that say I'm being threatened, so we've got a working relationship with whistleblower house where they are able to assist them, and also in most instances, if there's a case. There's a criminal case open, we are able to work with the witness protection unit where they are able to secure the person. And in terms of our members, what we do, we manage to procure the security services where we provide it to our members and they are able to be protected. And even if in some instances where they go to certain places where we know that it's not safe, then we are able to let them to go with the protection service so that at least they are protected.
So one of the last issues I want to speak to you about is this question of the integrity of your own staff. I know that the SIU takes quite exceptional measures from the point of recruitment all the way through. Can you just give us the highlights of those measures that you take to ensure and then maintain integrity?
Yes. Now you're correct that before you get appointed through to SIU, we take you through the integrity process where we test your integrity. And I think we can call it a mini vetting because I think the only difference is that we don't do the polygraph. But we get through your bank statement, we get through your reference checks, we get through all these things to analyze, to check who you are. Then thereafter, what we do, we've got, we call it voice layer, I don't know how to call it, where we take you through all voice stress analysis. Yeah. So whereby you also need to pass that. Then they will ask you a lot of questions whereby they will analyze the voice to see whether is there anything that you are hiding. And once you pass the integrity, then you are able to be appointed. Then in terms of the process in between your appointment while you are working, maybe after a year or two, we can do another test on you where we do the revetting or rescreening. We call it rescreening. So that's how it is. In between, they just pick, randomly, but to make sure that everybody is done. That in some instances, we also target some of the members that are working in some of those cases with a lot of monies where there's a potential of influence. And the other thing is, all our investigators, before you get allocated to a project, you need to declare whether there's no conflict. If it's ESCOM, you have never worked in ESCOM, none of your family member is working at ESCOM and all those things. But as you go on, you discover that, hang on, there's something, you need to declare it. That's how it is. So currently now we have changed, we are even including the lifestyle audit, where we are going to do the lifestyle audit to all our members so that we can identify to see whether are they also living within our means. That is to enforce the integrity part by the lifestyle audit so that we can. But over and above, also there's annual declaration that our members make where they need to declare and able to indicate what is happening in terms of their accounts and all those things. So we are able to analyze to see how are they progressing in terms of our life. So we try to put so much measure in terms of making sure that the integrity is maintained. Yeah.
So looking into the future of the SIU, on the investigation side, if you had to highlight 2 or 3 things that you would want now to make sure that we strengthen your investigations going forward? What would those be?
The first big one will be funding. I think that one is very critical, that we are properly being funded, where we don't have to rely on the departments whether to pay us or not. So it's very, very critical. And the next one is SIU to get all the systems that they require. For example, if we can go with time to make sure that we acquire all this latest technology that will enable us to able to be relevant and able to turn around the investigation on time. So that's very, very critical. And lastly, in order for SIU investigation to carry on, is the issue of making sure that we deal with investigation, we finalize it on time. Because as you know, that there are dependencies.
Right.
For example, for you to finalize investigation on time, you need bank records, and bank, they've got their own time. So I think if all those institutions that support the investigation can really come out and able to prepare themselves so that they can properly support the investigation, I think will really improve and able to turn around matters quite faster. So that, I think that's how we can able to make sure that we have an impact that is required. You know, I started as a junior and went through all the ranks until to where I am. So I know how it is, how hard it is. So when they talk, I know what they see. So you are able to show that sympathy. The thing is to maximize, to get more out of the people, is to be accommodative to them. And so that's how it is. But for me, the moment we crack one case, it's a joy to me. We say, let's
satisfaction.
Yes, let's go to the next one. You know,
Okay.
let's go to the next, just like that, and it just keep on going,
Yeah.
on and on and on and on.
Yeah.
And in terms of safety, you believe that God is there. You protected. I mean, once you are doing the right thing, I'm sure you are safe.
Yeah.
You are safe. Otherwise, apart from that, is to make sure you go to the gym. You exercise so that you are always fit and ready for the next day.
And tell us, what time do you wake up in the morning?
I wake up around 4.
4 a.m.
4, yes. So the problem with me is that during the day I've got lots of meetings, and as a result, my inbox, it's a lot. I'm receiving more than 100 to 200 emails a day, and now that's the only time you can able to handle such things. So you wake up in the morning, you deal with all these administrative emails and whatever.
Yeah.
Then around 6:06, that's when you can go and wash and prepare to come to work. So at least you prepare. Otherwise, during the day, there's no time to deal with all this.
And how much sleep do you get then? How many hours a night?
No, I try to sleep maybe 7, 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you feel it's enough? You
It is-
rested and
It's
ready
enough.
for action the next day?
It's enough. I'm used to it.
Yeah.
I think that's how it is. I'm used to it, and I can't sleep before 10, and even weekend I can't wake up after 5. Even if it's weekend, I need to wake up. I need to be out of the bed, and even if I don't doing anything, I guess that's how I grew up.
Yeah.
I grew up with my grandparents, and they will, while I was still young, we stay in a 4-bedroom, and you'll sleep in the dining. So you must wake up before people come in.
Yes, of course.
So that's how it is. So I got used to it. So I do wake up and yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like
And recreational activities, reading, TV, sports, what do you do?
I think reading, yes. TV, sports, yes, I look at the sports. Sometimes to play the sports like soccer and this, and yeah. But otherwise, in most instances, I'm home, I'm with the family,
Yeah.
because I'm forever not there. So I try, whenever time I have, I'm with them there. So, so that's what I do. And also the issue of the type of work that we do, you don't want to be everywhere.
Yes.
So you try to lie low in most instances and make sure that before it's dark, you are in the house. You go at night, you go when it's necessary.
Right.
When it's not necessary, don't go out. That's the safest way of trying to protect yourself. Because at night, you see, you hear things happening.
Yes. Yes. Leonard, thank you so much for a fascinating discussion. Thank you. I wish we had 3 hours to speak, but thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you.